got done eating so much food. But we ate it before, so then, like, when you're listening to us on your morning commute, you don't have to hear, like... We'll probably still eat, though.
Probably.
But, like... I'm so full.
We brought an air fryer, a Foreman grill, and a bunch of snacks out to the trailer to record. So we are set.
Because we are children.
We are children. Oh my gosh.
we mozzarella sticks.
Yeah, mozzarella sticks.
And wings and fries and cheesecake on top of grilled pound cake.
Oh, we made our own treat yourself this week.
Yeah, we treated our fucking selves.
It was so good. Fresh strawberries, really Sara Lee pound cake, fucking New York style cheesecake.
Mango.
It was the best. Mango.
Yes.
Oh, so we are happy. We're happy. We're also happy to be finishing off our series on MLMs.
Yeah, we're super stoked. To be honest, like earlier this week, Aaron hit me up and was like, you know, like if you don't want to, like we can just skip it. And I was like, you know what, dude? My default is always to say, fuck it, we'll move on.
Yeah.
Which is also Aaron's, which doesn't help the situation. So if ever we're like, we're going to do a whole month on dinosaurs, and like 1 week in, we're just like, yeah.
They're all dead. The end.
Yeah. Now on to minerals.
Yeah.
That's why. So, but no, I was like, no, I have to fucking do this.
She's the voice of reason. Because I was like, please say yes, please say yes. I want to do something else. And I don't even know why. It's not like I dislike this. You have two adult human women with ADHD trying to decide what best subject to stick with for a whole month.
It's like letting your dogs choose your meals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And sometimes you're like, but I just want to puke up the hot dog I just ate and do it again. And
right.
You're like, no, but we said we weren't going to do that anymore.
We said we were going to quit eating our puke.
It's so yummy.
It's pretty good.
So today we're going to talk Herbalife and
Juice Plus.
Juice Plus. I don't know why I can't remember hers. She can't remember mine.
Yeah, I kept calling Herbalife everything other than Herbalife.
Mostly Nutrisystem, which then I started calling it Nutrisystem. And then I started to research Nutrisystem, and I was like, isn't right.
This is a whole other batch of bullshit, but it's differently structured bullshit.
Oh my gosh, and then I went down a rabbit hole of watching things about fake makeup and makeup that's all full of asbestos that little girls were buying at Claire's Boutique. Yeah, there's a whole series. There's like a 4-part series on HBO Max right now.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's all I think it's called like Unpretty or something, but it's all about like everything that's in your makeup. And like the first 15 minutes, I was getting ready to go to sleep the other night, and I was stoned, and I was settled in. I was like, what's new on HBO? Let's check this out. And I'm sort of scrolling through my phone while I'm half watching, and it's this girl, and it's like shows footage of her when she's like 2 and she's putting on makeup, and then when she's 6. Anyway, it like chronicles her life really quickly up to her age, which I think is currently like in her 30s, and how when she got out of school, she went straight into makeup, and she was a really successful makeup artist until she had tummy troubles and went to the doctor, and they were like, you have mesothelioma. Have you been working with asbestos your whole life? And she was like, what? I don't do asbestos. I'm not a drywall person. I don't do insulation.
I'm not a dry guy.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, it must be all the makeup you're wearing. So yeah, like all these people got cancer, and I'm laying there in bed just like,
Christ.
Nope, I can't do this tonight, but maybe a little. Nope. And then I had nightmares, and it was a whole thing. So
I'm glad that I'm not wearing... Well, I barely wear makeup. I'm going to get it all tattooed on anyway.
I have latched on to your hyperfixation of tattooed eyeliner. This before I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't really wear makeup because I don't.
Yeah, you never wear eyeliner.
I never do. I never wear makeup usually. If you see me in makeup, there's 2 reasons. I'm either about to do something out in public, which is rare, or I'm about to possibly go meet someone famous, which is also rare. I wore makeup to go meet Homelander at Comic-Con. Like, he gave a fuck. He's just like, oh, all I see are dollar signs. You paid $150 to have 35 seconds with me and take an awkward picture. Yeah, I did.
Wow.
Yeah, Dave was like, this is your present for the year. And I was like, okay. But it was COVID still, so we're between a piece of plexiglass. And I look like a human thumb in the picture because I'm like,
I need to see this picture.
Oh, it's so bad. I will show it to you. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't really wear makeup. Not because I don't like makeup, but because I'm fucking lazy. Like, I'm just so lazy.
Anytime I've ever met a famous person, I'm like always, I don't want to like ruin their day by saying hi or whatever. It's like how you're not supposed to pet like a baby bird, which is a myth, by the way. You can pet all the baby birds.
I was gonna
Their
say.
moms might pluck your eyes out, but like literally that is the only repercussion.
So you don't get your smell on them? That's not a thing?
No, not at all.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, not at all. But with famous people, it absolutely is. If they get the smell of the poor on them, the rest of their pack won't accept them.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like when I met the lawyer from Always Sunny, you notice he hasn't worked since?
Yeah.
It's because he touched my hand. He got my smell on him.
And everything has just been unsuccessful.
It's just gone shitty, which is terrible because he was really nice.
Yeah.
So,
like that guy.
I mean, I guess that's your PSA. If you meet a famous person, do not touch them.
I might touch a few just to prove.
Why?
I want to see,
That's
like.
fucked up.
I know. It is terrible. It is reprehensible.
Like, are you going to take the wings off of a fly just to see, like, if it'll regrow them or if it'll just walk home? It lives in the air. Same thing with famous people. They live in the air.
No comment. No, I like insects. No, I'm totally fascinated. I would never touch Henry Zabrowski. No, for that simple fact of, like, I don't want to sully him. He's still middle grade. You know, he hasn't reached
I don't think that he would be sullied because he's like, you know, he's like one of us. But
I like to think he's one of us. He probably thinks he's not one of us.
He's definitely one of us.
Okay, I was under the misconception.
100% one of us.
I guess just because he was on TV.
No, not
special.
all people who are on TV are like, okay. Anyone from Sunny could absolutely say hi, you know, because they're one of us. But
yeah,
like somebody who's like a super elite, like okay, I know that Homelander's obscure, but like he's also really flawlessly handsome. Anyone who's like Kim Kardashian good looking, like don't touch them because they're gonna melt.
Oh yeah, and luckily for him I didn't. So here's him. This is his half of the picture. Handsome. He's gorgeous. And there's me. And then there's me. And just to prove to myself that I didn't look like that, I then took this picture just showing like it's okay, from some angles you look human still, because in this picture
from most angles you look like a person.
That is just the worst picture ever.
You did something weird with your face. She pulled her chin in and her chest out. Yes. Which is never a good look for anyone.
It's my I met a famous person face.
Dude, you look great with Eugene Merman.
Thank you. I'm showing her my picture of me with Eugene Merman where I'm literally squinting the tears out of my eyes.
You look great. You look normal with him. Now, Eugene Merman, he's a touchable person.
I touched him.
He's fine to touch. He probably enjoyed the human contact.
You know, he probably did.
Yeah.
But Homelander was just... he looked at me, and he's from New Zealand, right? So he has...
which is weird.
He has an amazing accent, naturally. And I walked up. They're like, okay, it's your turn. So I walked up, and I looked at him, and he smiled at me, and I burst into tears. I know. And he was like, oh, don't cry. You're going to make me cry. And I was like... I'm so happy. I loved it when you were on Auntie Donna. That was really funny. And he's like, oh, I forgot I did that. Okay, smile and take the picture. I'm like, it was so
You
awkward.
didn't look like you were mid-cry.
I was mid-cry. And what's fucked up, okay, so they had us all in a line, which of course they did. And the guy in front of me was really specific. When he got in there, he was like, nice to meet you. I want you to make this face with this hand gesture and like you're lasering my balls off. And Anthony Starr was like, okay. You know, I know he's just thinking, cha-ching, 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 like whatever.
No, I think on that specific one, he was like, this dude's real specific.
Yeah, he was real specific. And
he was like, there's going to be Photoshop involved after. I know it. Yeah. I hope he doesn't put a weird dick on me.
I know. And so after we leave, like we take our picture with him and we get back in a second line to get our printed copy of our picture. Because I didn't pay for a digital one. Because at that point I was $150 in. And the guy who had gone in front of me with all the specific directions, like the really nice person who's volunteering to work at Rose City Comic Con, was like, all right, does everything look good with your picture? You happy? And he's like, no, I'm not happy. And she's like, what? Sorry? He's like, I'm smiling in this, and I actually don't want a picture where I'm smiling. I want it retaken. And she was like, are you being serious right now? And he's like, yeah, I want back in line. So they do whatever with this guy. And I'm just looking at him with my jaw hanging open.
I would have stayed just watching that whole thing.
And so she's like, I have to go get my manager. And the guy who's still at the table, who, you know, is working, he looks at me, he looks at my picture, and he goes, you want to retake this?
Oh, shit.
And I went, no, I don't want to go after that.
I would have said yes. Only so even if it was the best picture that's ever been taken of me, I would have done a quick, like, ching, ching, with my phone of like, hey, look, I look great. And then I would have been like, yes, 100%. I need to go back in line. Specifically, I need to be behind him.
So I figure someday.
I would have written a novel about it.
Oh, yeah. Someday when I'm like when I'm hobnobbing with Hollywood elites, you know, in my dreams. No, so someday at some point, I feel like I'm going to be able to regurgitate this story to him, and he's going to laugh. I feel like
he will remember that guy.
Yeah, because he's going to remember that. And he was a 7 foot...
How do you not remember it?
Oh my God, he was like almost 7 feet tall. He was Asian, and he was very, very handsome. Like, he stood out in a crowd.
Really?
He towered... Anthony Starr's like 5'11". I mean, it was like... This guy was real unforgettable. And he also had... He had the...
Did he have like orange hair also?
He did not, but he had the personality of porridge. You know, he was just like, no. I want retake. I always love it when people who have taken my picture in a professional setting look at me and they're like, you want me to retake that?
That happened at the DMV with me. Like,
I hate the DMV.
The last 2 times.
I hate the DMV.
The thing is, I didn't think there was anything particularly wrong with the picture. I was like, nope, looks like me. And they were like, we're going to redo it. And I was like, but,
what?
Okay.
Oh, why do you...
The last 2 times were at Moses Lake. So maybe they care more. They have certainly more time.
Washington is very different. Washington. Yeah. I mean...
Like, my eyes were open. I was facing the camera. I didn't think I was making a weird face. I was making the face my face makes. Which, admittedly, apparently I have the face of an adult who... is only an adult in body. I'm so happy you're going to tell this story right now. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I was getting off work. It wasn't even all that late. I don't know. It was like maybe 9-ish. And I had to buy some stuff for my house, and so I went to Winco because it's across the street from my house. And my grocery list admittedly was not that of an adult. I was buying apple juice, deep fried mac and cheese, regular box mac and cheese, Kraft Blue Box.
Ooh, the best.
I know, right? Only the best for me. Fucking toaster strudels, pepperoni, snack packs. I mean, I was buying everything a child would buy.
Which I totally get. I have 2 lists. I have the list of the adult things that I go and I get, and I'm like, I'm on a budget. And then I have the fuck it, I'm hungry, I'm going to order my groceries for delivery, and it's all child food.
I got Dunkaroos. No, yes. The worst part is 99% of this was on the list. The Dunkaroos were the only impulse buy.
Oh shit! Dunkaroos are so good though.
Right, but yeah, like I mean, the only adult thing that I bought was bread.
Was it white or brown?
It was Dave's Killer.
Okay, in Canada they're like, do you want white or brown? I'm like, there's stuff in between white and brown, dude.
Right?
Brown.
I'd like beige if possible. Thank you.
Brown could be wheat. It could be rye. It could be like.
There's a lot of fucking room in there.
Anyway.
So I go up to check out, and the guy is like really fucking nice to me. And in my life, inhabiting the body I have with this face, I'm used to everyone I meet being very nice to me.
Aww.
It's just my experience. I learned it is science. I have a very round head. I have very large, round eyes.
Yep.
My body is very round. My hair is curly, so I have a bunch of circles on my already round head.
You're very pleasing to look at.
I guess.
Nothing about you is sharp or edgy or screams, I would kill you if you talk to me wrong.
Yeah. And so people approach me all the time, and they're always very fucking nice. And so this guy was very, very nice to me. And he said something like, I like your hair, and I like fluffed it a little. I was like, thanks, I grew it myself. And so I have curly, short, blonde hair. It's like about chin length or whatever, and it's very curly, and it's like, it's yellow blonde, like artificial blonde. Anyway. And I do admittedly generally have the demeanor of like a cartoon character, especially with people I don't know who are being nice to me. My default is I'm an adorable 7-year-old, I guess. And I had said something about like I do DoorDash, and he was like, oh, how long have you been driving? And I was like, well, I mean, 18 years in general, but for DoorDash too. And he seemed very like... very surprised I had been driving that long.
He was impressed.
That's the word. He seemed very impressed with everything. And then I was wearing a sweater, and he was like, I like your sweater. And once again, keep in mind, he was speaking to me as one would speak to a child. But I didn't pick up on it, because that's how people fucking talk to me. And he was like, I like your sweater. I was like, it's really soft. You want to feel? And I like thrust my arm out at him. And he pet my sleeve like you would pet a child's dog that they thrust at you. Saying, my dog's name is Noodles. You want to pet him?
He's stuffed. He's not real. But
he's not. Yes.
He loves me.
That's exactly it. Like, he was like, oh, that is really soft. What do you think it's made of? I was like, I don't know, stuff. And then on the way out, I left out of the wrong entrance or out of the wrong exit. And then I had to go back, and he was like, you have a nice day. I was like, thanks, Zach. And he seemed really happy that I knew his name.
Oh my God, that's fucking amazing.
There's a huge difference as an adult female. There's a huge difference between somebody being nice to me because they want to sleep with me. Somebody being nice to me because they think that I'm just like kind of ditzy, and somebody being nice to me because they think that I am a 7-year-old in a 36-year-old's body. And this interaction was certainly the latter.
I adore that, like, it didn't hit you until later.
Oh, I didn't, because here's the thing. I kept thinking to myself, that guy was really nice to me. Why was that guy so nice to me? And then I started thinking about it and putting the pieces together. Like, as I was unloading my bags, I was like,
soft. You want to feel?
Yeah, I was like, I bought nothing an adult would buy. And that thought was separate of why was that guy so nice. And then I was like, oh, that was funny. I left out of the wrong exit. And then that's about when everything started to click. And I was like, oh, shit. He thought that I was Charlize Theron's character from Arrested Development. Okay.
I'm a spy. I just remember her doing that.
No, he legit definitely thought that I was a DD adult.
Oh,
like, for sure.
He was
really
proud of himself for being so attentive to your needs.
He probably was. He was like, that developmentally delayed adult was really nice. So, yeah. That's my story.
But, you know,
at least you didn't try to sell me Plexix, I guess.
I was going to say, at least he just took for granted that you were going to have this amazing interaction with no other expectations of, like, do you have any coupons? Are you going to be a bitch? Is this going to be a thing? Because everyone is really mean these days. And and that's not like one of those sweeping generalizations of like, oh, nobody wants to work anymore, which if I hear one more fucking time,
oh, snap their goddamn, I will work hard at snapping their fucking necks.
Yeah.
No,
this is like you know, people are mean. People are mean because they have lots of things to be angry about. There's lots of things going wrong, and they tend to, you know, you're snappy. I'm snappy. Everywhere I go, I'm like, what are you fucking looking at? You know?
I'm generally not. I usually just float through life on a cloud of privilege and just not, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I don't get upset in traffic anymore.
Oh, no, neither do I. And generally, like, if shit doesn't involve me, I just, like, stay the fuck out of it.
Me too.
And that alone has upped my happiness by, like, 20%.
Me too. And I have to say, mine is all thanks to you. You taught me that. Because I was at Home Depot yesterday. Okay, long story short. I had to go and I had to get a chisel so I could shatter the tile flooring in my kitchen. It's a long story. So I went in and I got my chisel and I got my knee pads because I have a bad knee.
And also, that's just a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea to have knee pads. So I'm at the self-checkout, right? And I hear this fucking guy behind me. He's like, oh no. And so I kind of turn around. I'm like, does this guy need help? What's going on? Like, this is self-checkout. This is where everyone does each other. Why is he talking? You know, like, why are you talking? And I turn around and he's like standing there talking to himself. He's got a little piece of like plexiglass, clear plexiglass, and he's looking at it. He's trying to figure out where the scanner tag is. There is no scanner tag. Oh, poor
dude.
And so for a second I was like, no. Oh no. Then the guy who works there walked up. He's like, hey man, what's going on? He's like, you don't got a sticker. He's like, oh, okay, well, let's figure this out together. And the guy immediately goes, what do you mean together? And the young kid's like,
I'm not proposing marriage to you. You just obviously need my help.
And the kid's like, well, do you remember where you got it? And he goes, yeah, I got it over there. He goes, well, we can go walk over there and we can get another piece so I can scan it. The fucking guy goes, I don't have time for that. That's not my job. That's your job. And the guy was like, I can't leave my station. Like, he went from, like, overly accommodating to this guy, you know, because he was being a good person, to like, nope, you know what? I can't leave my station.
That's exactly what he should have done.
Yes. And so the guy stands there and he's like, well, fuck. And he starts getting real loud. So he walks out of self-checkout and he walks over to, like, regular checkout. And the woman...
They can't help you anymore.
I know, the woman who
Does he think that that's where barcodes, like, are born?
He does, because he walked up to her.
They're born out of the little beep, beep, and then they just, like, walk over to their respective houses.
Oh, I'm a piece of flooring. I hop on here.
Right?
Grab on. Yeah, and so he starts yelling at her, and she watched the whole thing happen at self-checkout, and she watched him come over. And she took a deep breath, and and the first thing out of his mouth was, it's not my job to put stickers on things. Figure it out. She's like, I have a list of prices and codes right here. Just give me a second. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go over there. I'm going to be like, excuse me. Hey, it is your fucking job. When you want to buy something, you pick the one with the fucking tag on it, dipshit. But then I pictured how that would go for me. I'm at a Home Depot in Clackamas with this guy who really likes to yell at people. And I was like, you know, it's not worth it. I'm not going to say a thing. It doesn't concern me. And in that moment, I was like, da, da, da. I just leveled up because I stayed in my lane. I didn't get involved. It didn't concern me. And I still got to yell at him in my head. So I'm happy. So yeah.
I don't know. That one would have been difficult.
It was hard. The guy was a fucking dick.
If I had had the appropriate thing to say in my head, I probably would have.
I know, right? I wanted to be like, you don't yell at them. But like, maybe they don't want me to defend them. Turns out, other people don't always love it when a yappy mouth little assumed white woman yells for them.
It usually does escalate the situation a bit.
Yeah. Okay, no. Okay, let's start with Juice Plus.
Okay, so Juice Plus, since we are so far in, I'm just going to give you some broad strokes. So my sister-in-law actually turned me on to this when I had asked her about MLMs that she was aware of. And she said that actually she was doing CrossFit for like a while, and she said that the CrossFit community is like rife with MLMs.
Which makes sense.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, it's interesting.
They use the same type of recruiting techniques and, you know, like it's love bombing, like pretty much all this stuff that turns me off of ever doing anything like that. But anyway, so she said that everyone was talking about Juice Plus. What is Juice Plus, you ask? Okay, to get there, I'm going to give you some as much of an abridged backstory as I possibly can. This dude, Jay Martin, in 1970 founded it was called the NSA, which is shady as fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking the real NSA. This is the National Safety Associates, which sounds official, right?
It does.
Okay, so like I said, there's a lot more into this, but the broad strokes are they were in charge of selling like fire alarms, raising awareness about fire alarms, pivoted oddly to water filtration. Yeah. Apparently there was actually a whole thing. So in 1985 is when they pivoted. There was a whole thing about their water filters actually were making shit worse. And so I had read the, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I know. And so I had read the complaints, and I don't know, as somebody who owns a water filter, the recommendations later on were just that people run them for 30 seconds before use. Now, okay, I don't know if that's after the initial installation, because that's actually like just what's in the instructions.
Yeah.
In water filters.
Yeah.
Or if they meant after, like, you know, every fucking time you use it, because that would differ a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, after that got all fucked up, like the Attorney General's office was the one who like followed up on these complaints. It's not like Better Business Bureau, like, you know, fucking shook their finger at them. Like, it was a whole fucking thing.
That's a big deal.
Oh, yeah, totally. So then they pivoted again into Juice Plus. So that brings us to, what the fuck is Juice Plus? Okay, what they say is if you are too busy to eat fruits and vegetables, you can take this pill that is essentially, like, it's supposed to be the essential oils, the powdered essential oil, not literally essential oil, but, you know, like the powdered condensation of fruits and veggies, which, yeah, I mean, pretty much. There's like a few other tiny supplements in there. That's pretty much what it is, but their claims on it are that it's like as good as fruits and vegetables, that's got as much nutrients as you need for your daily servings, which is not even a little true.
Yeah, no, you're not getting into the fiber. And this is all a magic pill?
Yeah. Well, you take 2 a day. And so it costs like not as much as most MLMs. I think that the breakdown was roughly $75 a year. Now that's just if you're taking their regular fruit and veg. There's, I mean, a ton other things. They even have a kids line, which is kind of fucked up and weird.
Well, yeah, because vitamins aren't real.
Oh no, vitamins. Oh yeah, you were joking. I was like, no, they're totally.
No, I'm not. Vitamins are bullshit.
Not all of them.
Oh yeah.
It depends on.
No, she looks truly stunned, and she should be.
Yeah, I was like, no, I learned in school.
Not all of them.
I went to school for this.
I know. No, when I say that, I mean like there are people who are actually deficient in things that need vitamins.
Oh, for sure.
And then there's like
everyone else
who just has really expensive pee.
Yeah.
My grandma has the most expensive pee on earth.
Oh, and that's absolutely true. Yeah. So I had, in order to prepare for this, I had given myself several crash courses in bioavailability. And that was one of the issues actually with Juice Plus is, so, okay.
What is bioavailability?
So bioavailability is the ability for your body to take the nutrients it needs out of that supplement.
Okay.
So if it's bioavailable, generally, like, okay, so for instance, let's say collagen.
Okay.
In order to be bioavailable, it's got to be grouped together with vitamin C.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're just going to piss and shit it out.
Okay.
And there's several things like that it's only bioavailable in combination with this or that. And okay, like a lot of digestive enzymes that people take, unless your doctor says to take them.
Yeah.
There's unless he's prescribing you prescribing you a specific thing, there's a good chance any digestive enzymes that you're taking orally are getting broken down before they even really get to where they need to go.
Yeah, totally. Because your body already, and I know you've said this a bunch of times, your body does everything it needs to do.
Yeah, and I mean there's a handful of things that like your body doesn't make or it doesn't make enough of. And so as we age, like a multi is a good idea, you know? But just like a Centrum Silver or something, or I take like Centrum Women's.
Yeah.
Don't take the gummies. The gummies have significantly less vitamins in them. Gummies are delicious. I take gummies, even knowing this, I take gummies. Because, I mean, I still have a big bottle of them, but also I enjoy them.
They're yummy.
Yeah. I take my collagen gummy, but I take it with my multi that's got a C.
Yeah. I refuse to take vitamins. I know what it sounds like when I say that, but I am one of those people who I'm not deficient in anything, and my system is so sensitive that when I take a vitamin, it throws everything out of whack and I get really sick.
Well, and this actually goes back into why Juice Plus is kind of just like a bunch of snake oil, because most of the things that we need for our body to function well under regular circumstances, we get from just eating food.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that is the best, most bioavailable source of nutrients.
So that's always
just eat a
be...
fucking apple.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that's always going to be preferred. And they'll say that it's preferred to eat, you know, your fruits and veggies and that's the best way. But this is like the closely next best, which it's completely fucking not. They say that there's all of these studies behind them. Most of the studies have a really small sample size.
That seems to be the case with all of this MLM.
A lot of them,
stuff.
have a very small sample size.
Like 8 of your friends from church.
Right, exactly. And a lot of the people seem to be, like, they already weren't eating enough fruits and vegetables, and then they would give them Juice Plus with a fucking multi.
So you're already
versus somebody versus somebody who wasn't taking anything at all and already was like deficient in shit. And so yeah, they were absolutely stacking the deck. The science is completely not there. In order to have an actual well-founded study, it's got to be, I mean, 10 or 20 years, which it's just not fucking there.
Yeah.
And my favorite, juiciest bit of this, and then we'll go over to Nutrisystem.
Herbalife.
Herbalife. is, okay, I understand if I had a company that was called Juice Plus and O.J. Simpson wasn't a murderer yet, it would be a match made in heaven, right?
It would.
Okay, so that's what they thought too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they were like, Juice
Oh,
Plus? What? And, okay, for anybody who was born before, like, 1994, OJ used to be a media darling.
Yeah, he did.
Everyone fucking loved OJ. Everybody. He was in movies in the 70s. Like,
trophy winner.
Yeah, he was, like, everyone's homie.
Yeah.
And so, it's not... He wasn't always so extremely bonkers problematic as he is now.
Not that I'm making excuses, but I think he is the perfect prime candidate for when he dies. They need to study his brain. I mean,
oh my God,
how many
yes.
fucking concussions did that guy get before he went
Christ,
bonkers?
right?
Yeah. Like there was I mean, if you track it, it is like his career is the perfect trajectory for the concussion make you murderer syndrome.
Absolutely.
That I can't remember what it's called right now.
Dude, I mean, very small aside, like, Nicole Brown. Fuck, man. She tried so fucking hard to get away from him, to get help. Yeah. But he was once again a media darling. Everyone fucking loved OJ. Yeah. And nobody would believe, I mean, nobody would believe at that point in time that OJ was capable of being abusive or being a shitty person. All he had to do most of the time was just go into the police station and sign autographs, and they would just let him go.
Yeah. And she had legit proof. Like, Like
fucking tons.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Talk about a preventable fucking murder.
So
on so many levels.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, dude.
If we ever delve into it.
Holy shit, I don't think we're gonna. We just aren't.
To.
That's just what we're gonna say about that shit. Anyway, going back to it, so shortly before he killed his ex-wife and her friend Ron Goldman. He did a Juice Plus spokesmanship, like where the MLMs, they'll have people come up and talk.
Yes.
He did that, and he was like, it got rid of my arthritis, like I feel so good. And later on during the trial, it was found that he was on a super common anti-inflammatory, like for his arthritis.
Oh, fuck.
But as you might remember, his whole thing was if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. And he could not possibly have gotten his hands in those gloves, and he could not have done those crimes because he was so arthritic. So it's like, which one is it, Juice?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
Yeah. Oh, you have crumpled hand syndrome. When it suits you, you murderer.
So there's so much more, but that's what we're gonna say about that shit. And then we're gonna move on to this other batshit garbage. Mm-hmm. It's fucking awesome.
Herbalife.
You're gonna love it, you guys.
So just quickly before we do, I don't know if anyone else out there is as fascinated by the Johnny Depp defamation trial against Amber Heard.
More like defecation.
Defecation. Those people.
I fucking had to.
They're bonkers. They're fucking bonkers.
They're all bonkers. I feel like okay, and this is just my hot take based on nothing. No, it's based on me having a bunch of white trash friends and white trash relationships. What I think happened throughout all of this is it's probably just two shitty people being shitty to each other, but they're also wealthy. Mm-hmm. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes, that's 100% what it is. Like,
neither one of them are the victor in this.
No.
Like, nobody in this situation wins.
No. And Johnny Depp has just been around longer than her. That doesn't make him less trashy.
He's just a better actor.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen Gilbert Grape, you should. Oh, that proves my point.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's an amazing
really
actor.
Good actor.
And you know what? She probably did beat his ass. He can be very, I'm sure, difficult to live with, and having a severe drinking problem, I'm sure, and her having mental illness issues, they probably just beat the shit out of each other. Do I care? I don't give a fuck. Am I addicted to it? 100%. She doo-dooed in his bed, and he called it taking a grumpy.
Wait, what?
Yeah. He was like trying to describe it, and you could tell he was like looking for words. He was like, she took a grumpy in our bed. And it's like, did you mean to say that? I feel like you were trying to say something else, and like you knew you couldn't say it in court because it was like, yeah. Anyway.
You can say anything in court.
You can say anything
in
court.
You can say fuck, shit, balls, piss,
Dude,
like whatever you want.
When he was being cross-examined, they were reading his text about how he wanted to like fuck her burned up dead body. I mean, like, you're gonna call it a grumpy? Who calls their turds grumpies? I mean, maybe now I do. I don't know. That might be a thing now. Oh, speaking of turds, this Herbalife.
Fucking turd, Jesus. Oh my God, where to start?
Where to start?
This is gonna be one of those things where like Erin wrote show notes and I'm just gonna yell stuff on top of it.
It's gonna be perfect. So Herbalife is a global multi-level marketing corporation that develops and sells dietary supplements, fake vitamins. The company was founded by Mark Hughes in 1980, and
a piece of shit.
And it employs an estimated 9,900 people as of 2021. The business is incorporated in the Cayman Islands with its corporate headquarters located in LA. All those things seem like red flags. The company operates in 94 countries through a network of approximately 4.5 independent distributors and members. So the company has been criticized for allegedly operating a sophisticated pyramid scheme. Herbalife agreed to fundamentally restructure its business in the U.S., but not worldwide, and pay a $200 million fine as part of a 2016 settlement with the U.S. Federal Trade Commission following those accusations. You usually don't end up paying a fine if the accusations are not correct.
Okay, so are you going to cover this later, or can I yell?
Oh, you can yell. Are you going to get into his mom and stuff?
Oh, I figured you were going to cover that part.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm going to yell about this. Did you see the John Oliver about all of that when it came out?
Yeah, so the John Oliver, he basically was saying everything that was said in the documentary.
Yeah.
But
I have a lot of qualm with that documentary.
Do you?
Oh!
I have not seen the documentary, and I have only seen part of the John Oliver.
Oh, I've seen both.
Okay.
I have a whole tangent about that hedge fund shit.
Ooh.
You cover that?
No.
Ha ha!
Lay it
Well,
on
I'm
me.
gonna.
Okay.
All right, I'll cover the hedge fund part at the appropriate moment.
Okay.
But, so when it was ruled to not be a pyramid scheme, it was not ruled to not be a pyramid scheme. It was very fucking nebulous. The long and the short of it was people just don't like hedge fund managers. And so they were like, Herbalife is shitty, but this dude's a real fucking grumpy. So we're just gonna rule kind of against him and make them restructure absolutely fucking everything.
So, interesting.
Yeah. They
Okay.
made them essentially do what they would do if they had ruled it a pyramid scheme.
Oh.
They made them completely restructure everything. They have to keep receipts on everything. So that's why if you go into an Herbalife brick and mortar, which is weird to do. I did it one time in Moses Lake. If you go into an Herbalife brick and mortar, they take down all your fucking information. Now, here's the best part. Who are you sending this information to?
Yeah.
Fucking nobody. There's no address to fucking send it to.
What?
Yeah, for distributors.
Wow.
And so I guess they're just supposed to keep boxes of it until question mark.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it's supposed to kind of be we told you we're legitimate if the IRS comes knocking or something. And it's also supposed to not eliminate, but lessen people backstocking, having just boxes and boxes and boxes of it.
Yeah.
But it in no way does that.
Yeah, no, not at all.
It's supposed to say, see, we're not a pyramid scheme, we're selling this to people.
That's what they all say.
Mm-hmm.
So in February of 1980, Mark Hughes began selling the original Herbalife weight management product from the trunk of his car, which is where I want to get all my supplements.
Mm-hmm.
He often stated that the genesis of his product and program stemmed from the weight loss concerns of his mother, Joanne, whose premature death he attributed to an eating disorder and an unhealthy approach to weight loss.
No, he had said... Well, sort of. He said that it was diet pills that killed her.
Mm-hmm.
And it fucking wasn't.
Nope. Didn't she have cancer?
No, dude. She died of a fucking overdose of, regular fun pills.
Oh, shit.
Painkillers.
I feel like I got a lot of my information from a website that's been scrubbed all of a sudden.
Weird.
Very weird.
No, dude, it was painkillers.
Oh my gosh.
And that was one of the fuck you things about it. Was so in the when he would do his speeches and his bringing people in, he would tearfully say shit like that if he can stop one person from dying because they took too many diet pills and he did his job, and he would definitely use that as leverage. His dead mother died from diet pills when the whole fucking time she actually just died of a painkiller overdose, and that addiction actually comes back later. Comes back around later.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in 1982, Herbalife received complaints from the FDA for claims made about certain products and the inclusion of mandrake, poke root, and food-grade linseed oil.
Oh no.
None of those things should be in your body. In 1984, so every 2 years it seems like things are going bad, the Department of Justice of Canada filed criminal charges against the company for misleading medical claims and advertisements. By 1985, the company was considered the fastest growing private company in America because of its sales, but that same year, the California Attorney General sued the company for making inflated claims about the efficiency of its product.
All that it really was, when you break down the ingredient list, what it does, all it really is a diuretic, what's the make you shit pills? Laxative.
Laxatives.
A laxative, like a really strong laxative with a fuckload of caffeine.
Damn.
So you're just making grumpies, but you're not grumpy about it.
So, we're going to jump ahead a little bit. On May 20th, 2000, Mark Hughes dies at age 44.
Guess what of?
Well, the Los Angeles County coroner autopsy results ruled that the entrepreneur died of an accidental overdose of alcohol and doxepin, an antidepressant.
And there was a ton of cocaine in his system.
See, I feel like this has been scrubbed. God
Dude,
damn it.
It absolutely has. So there was a whole bunch of cocaine troubles. So check this out. There had been multiple anonymous sources that had reported to various U.S. agencies that Mark had been using cocaine. Okay, now here was the kind of like, okay, so what? That he had been using cocaine 1 to 3 times a day, and I'm like, that's nothing.
Yeah, it's like an hour
That's
and a
like
half.
saying that, yeah, that's like saying he drinks soda sometimes. Not to say cocaine is soda, but like, I don't know, dude. I've done enough coke to know that that's not actually that much.
Yeah.
If it was sun up to sundown, by all means, which probably more likely it was. I think that this person just didn't understand like how cocaine works.
Probably.
Anyway, so and that alone is whatever. It got to be kind of like associated a little bit with Herbalife, like cocaine and Herbalife. Especially this dude in cocaine was like Charlie Sheen and cocaine. Or like McAfee and mental illness. And so then it was later on, the reason that it mattered that he was doing cocaine was because they had been smuggling cocaine through
Oh my gosh.
exactly. And another dude who was a little bit his right-hand man had been sent to Russia. Shortly after this whole thing, he was like, fuck no, and that's how we know any of this.
Wow.
Like, he left in a ball of glitter and middle fingers. And he got sent to Russia thinking that he was going to talk to a competitor kind of rip-off company because they had stolen the proprietary blend, which was assumingly X-Lax and cocaine.
Right?
And turns out he was going to meet with the Russian fucking mob.
Oh my God.
Yes. And so when he figured all that out, he was like, holy fuck, because he's already in Russia. Like, the meeting is in 1 moment from now. And it was about, so the Russian mob wanted a cut of their selling, like their distribution, which, okay. And this dude was there to pay the Russian mob off and also talk to them about eliminating the competition, nudge, nudge. Yeah. So that was more why the U.S. government was like, oh, because they're not going to really give a shit about one dude doing cocaine up to 3 times a day. That's going to be a real fucking small blip on their radar, no matter how rich this guy is. And keep in mind, this dude was richer than God. He was making, and I'm not fucking kidding when I say, $87 million in 1 fucking year.
That's insane.
He was making an insane amount of money.
Oh, fucking crazy.
Yeah, at the top of the pyramid, shit's real cushy. So, yeah, that had to be stated. That was a crazier thing I found.
That's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man.
Sorry to sidetrack you.
No, not sidetracking at all. Honestly, I don't trust the rest of my source to, like, even go forward with those notes. That's disheartening to me that my research failed me. I will say that my research failed me for good reason. I didn't give myself adequate time to do what I normally do. And this is a really good example of where not repeating things verbatim because you found them on the internet.
Oh, yeah.
Should be a thing. I think this is that, because you know what, had I actually been able to have the time, and I won't get into why I didn't have the time. It's under wraps. It's a special secret. When I can talk about it, I will, which I know is like the biggest douchebaggy thing ever. Big things are happening. Big things are happening. My Tom Hiddleston Curry dreams are getting closer to coming true. That might be a bit of a stretch.
It might not be a stretch, though.
Might not be a stretch. I don't know. Oh my God. So it's really interesting because I was watching, it's interesting you bring that up. I'm just going to pivot a little bit. I was watching a movie called The Last Da Vinci or something. And it was talking about how like Russian mob and princes, the Prince of Saudi Arabia have been buying up like art and holding it hostage basically and not letting anybody see it and using it for like political leverage. So yeah, that's interesting. That's kind of like, but I think
they probably used some of that I keep wanting to call it fucking Nutrisystem. Not Nature Made. What the fuck is this company? Herbalife. Jesus Christ.
I remember.
They probably were using some of that Herbalife money.
I remember going to the mall and I remember seeing cars that had like Herbalife stickers in the back window because they were distributors. They were parked next to like Scentsy people. They were parked.
Well, okay, so here's another, just like doing a brief pivot onto like yet another reason why they're so shitty. Their recruiting tactics are very shitty and very predatory. So they have oftentimes, especially in smaller towns like Moses Lake or
Longview is where I saw a lot of it.
Longview, yeah. One of my friends actually lives out at the coast, and they had said that like they had just moved out there with their partner, and they were going to school, and you know, kind of like looking for friends and community. They didn't really know many people out there, and got kind of a little, for like a brief moment, sucked into it. Luckily they were only out like a couple $100 by the time they figured out that it was Fugazi.
Damn.
Yeah. But then, and I've heard when I was reading on the anti-MLM subreddit, one story that particularly crushed my soul was, it was kind of a similar thing where a lady had moved several miles away from where her community was, like her, you know, her friends, her hopes, her dreams, and had another friend who lived like a couple hours away from her. And she was a new mom and just like really isolated and shit. So she finally was able to find somebody to watch her kid for like a couple hours. And she and her friend from, I think, like high school had planned to meet up in the middle. And so she was like super excited about it. When they met up, it was just a fucking Herbalife pitch.
Dude.
Yeah, how soul crushing is that?
I hate that so much.
Yeah, I know. It made me really sad too when I heard about that. So I figured I will tell you guys, so maybe it'll make me less sad, because now you guys know too.
I've been really discouraged this week, honestly.
Oh my God, right?
Like this week has been so weird. I've been watching this show called Darkwood's Justice. And so it's like cops. It's like a cop style reality show about the Olympic Peninsula in Washington, and how, because the timber industry, you know, they have so many like old growth cedars and maple and stuff up there. But there's not a lot of jobs. There's a lot of like, you know, Depression era economic things happening up there. And people are fucking, like, their whole job is to go steal wood. And so they'll like illegally cut down these trees and sell it for lots of money, which you think, whatever, it's a tree. These are like old growth trees that will never come back. These are people who are literally destroying the environment, and they're not taking the money and using it to buy groceries. Like, they're buying more meth. So they're cutting down all the trees, and they're not cutting them down in like mom and pop, the 40 acres that they bought in 1950. They are going into the federal forest, the federally protected forest, and cutting down trees because they are so desperate for money and just desecrating them. I mean, and this was from like 2000, I'm going to say 17 or 2018 that they filmed this. And so like all the trees that are dead. And then of course, you know, inevitably you stumble upon some bodies up there, because it's like, where are you going to dump a body? You know, where no one's going to find it up there. Ted Bundy did that in that area, you know? So like, it's just like, fuck it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah. You just like take all the trees and you shit on all the poor people, and you just,
and they do it all for meth.
All for meth. It's all for money. Meth. All for, yeah. And it's like, you would follow them investigating a person, and the person would go out and they would break into a car to steal a chainsaw. They would take the chainsaw to like the illegal sawmill and try to sell it. That guy would buy it, and he would go out and cut down a tree with it illegally, and then he would use the money to, or, you know, sell it back to the mill, and then use that money to buy more meth. And it was like this whole independent economic system based on like stealing and meth. It was
Jesus Christ.
really
That sounds
it's on
right.
Discovery Plus. It's really weird. There's also ones for like Texas and stuff.
Well, and you know, so they had kind of their own economy, which is a little bit what these MLMs do,
Yes.
where like it's easy to get money because it's all of the same money going through it plus new money.
Exactly.
And that was kind of one thing that he had to be accountable for. And we're talking like the first owner, not the second owner.
Mm-hmm.
When he had gone up, was it the Senate? I think that it was the Senate that he was speaking with. And they had brought up the fact that like nutritionists are saying that it doesn't do most anything that they say it will.
Yeah.
And he did a low blow and said something to the effect of, well, if your so-called nutritionists are so smart, then why are they so fat? Or some shit like that. Like, oh yeah. Yeah, he's a real piece of shit, this guy.
Oh my god.
I know.
You don't like fat people?
Right.
Damn.
I know.
Sounds like my grandma.
Right? And then another juicy tidbit is their shit, at least at the time, hopefully they've fixed this, contained fucking lead.
Lead, yes.
Fucking lead.
You know, but they said not enough to be worthy of putting on the label. Any amount of lead is worth putting on the label.
Right. How much lead is too much lead in the body? Any amount of lead is too much lead in the body. And it's got a building effect.
Yeah. Fuck's sake.
So that's fucking cray.
Yeah.
And then the second time, under a new owner, that they had come up for some shadier dealings. Luckily, the new owner just kind of kept his fucking mouth shut a little bit. He didn't historically have a track record of keeping his fucking mouth shut. But this time he fucking did. And so, okay. How many more show notes do you have on it?
I have none.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So there's this documentary called Betting on Zero. And it's supposed to be very specifically anti-Nutrisystem. Mm-hmm. Nutrisystem? God damn it! Anti-Herbalife. Jesus Christ. I should just get their logo tattooed on me so I can fucking remember. Anti-Herbalife. And so this dude, long and the short of it, saw Herbalife, was like, why the fuck is this MLM worth so fucking much money on the stock market? There's no goddamn way. There is no goddamn way. Apparently he had not heard of Amway. But so he decided to bet against them. When you're a hedge fund guy, you're essentially putting money down saying, I bet these guys will fucking fail. And when they do, I'm going to get a bunch of money. Well, he set like $1 billion fucking bet. And that's how confident he was.
Sorry, I was just waiting for that car to go by. Holy fucking shit, $1 billion.
$1 billion fucking bet.
You dick.
$1 billion fucking bet. And so that's kind of why I'm saying, like, it's not necessarily that they were wrong. It's just that this dude was less likable than they were.
You know, and traditionally, in situations where you are not likable, you don't win no matter what your stance.
Like Adnan Syed, one of the main reasons, in my opinion, one of the only reasons, because they didn't have any fucking evidence, was because his lawyer was unlikable.
Yeah. And she was on the verge of death. She died right after that. Like, she was not well.
I hope she went to hell.
She was ill.
She was also
She was problematic.
She was a fucking issue.
Dude, the whole
thing. So now there's this fucking... He's not even a kid. He's like my age.
Yeah.
But in my mind, he's like 17. But yeah, anyway, that's not what this is about, though. So this guy decided that he was going to hedge his bets and made it his full-time job to take Nutrisystem. God damn it! To take Herbalife down.
I don't know, maybe Nutrisystem is bad.
Nutrisystem's shitty too, but for different reasons. It's just not healthy. Nutrisystem's just not healthy.
I gained a lot of weight on
See?
Nutrisystem.
Exactly. Nutrisystem's just not good for you, but it's not like as bad as this. But yeah, so he had made it his full-time job to make them look like shit because every time they lost, he won. And so this kind of goes into a whole thing of like, don't get me wrong, they're definitely bad and they're definitely problematic, but you have to look at the reasons behind why people are doing something, especially if they're so fucking dogged like this guy was. Mm-hmm. And so he had figured if he got it all the way up to the fucking Supreme Court,
all the way to the top,
all the fucking way to the top, then they would fail and he would win and everything would be fine.
God, that sounds like the art dealer in that movie. He was like negotiating, quote unquote, the sale of the painting. And he was telling his buyer, the person he was working for, we can get it for $125 million. In reality, he was buying it for like $80 million and making a fuck ton of money.
That's exactly what's happening.
Is it legal? Yes. Is it nice? No.
Right? And that's honestly, man, we can just kind of stop there. That nobody likes hedge fund guys.
No.
And that's the takeaway from all of this.
Yeah.
So go and buy some Nutrisystem.
Get some Sensi.
Get some Metabolife.
Oh, yeah,
you might need metformin later, but that's fine.
You know, you might have some liver damage, but if you Google,
you're probably going to have liver
does
damage.
Herbalife cause liver damage? The first thing that pops up, I swear to Christ, is the letters no. And then it's attributed to Herbalife.com.
Oh, Jesus. That's fucking
crazy.
Wonderful.
Try it. You might like it. It's fucking dumb.
Even if it did work as promised, like, diet culture's fucking toxic, homies.
Do you know, Megan and I were talking about how many years of our lives we spent as thin, young, attractive people. And even then, we were never thin enough. We were never ever good enough, because that was the internal dialogue that not just women, men also can be subject to the same stereotypes of fitness. We're so trained to go after this unattainable goal of thin living. I mean, do you know what I used to hear? You know what I said this to Dave and he was horrified. The thing that I was told the most when I was on my fitness journey, I'm going to call it a fitness journey. It was fucking an eating disorder.
Yep. That's usually more like it.
Yeah. Nothing tastes as good as thin feels.
Yep.
That was the mantra that I was given. And to this day, I've had 2 children. I have had 2 children. My body is different. I am 40. My body will never be what it was. I still set the unattainable goal of 110 pounds for myself.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. I would be the weight of a 5th grader. Like, it's never going to happen. But as for every minute of every day that I spent not being 110 pounds, I chastise myself. And I'm fucking ashamed to admit that, because I should, as a college-educated adult mother, I should not be doing that to myself. That is such a self-destructive behavior. But it's one that, like, I struggle with. I mean, and everyone does. And at the end of the day, you go with an MLM because you want a sense of community. You feel like you're lacking something. You want to feel empowered in your life. The problem is they're banking on you for those things. They're not helping you. They're exploiting you.
You know that shitty dude that we were just talking about, the hedge fund guy? That's what the MLMs are doing to you.
Yes, absolutely.
They're banking on your failure.
Yeah. They are, yeah,
because
absolutely.
when you fail, they win.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate takeaway. I think that's a nice little fucking bow to wrap that up with. That's the ultimate takeaway, though, is
absolutely
just be cool with who the fuck you are. Because chances are who the fuck you are is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, really. You know, at the end of the day, and this is also some really good advice I just got, at the end of the day, you have to be with yourself 24/7. If you don't like who you are, that's on you to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you know what? I fucking love being by myself. I love it.
Yeah, it's my
I love
favorite
hanging out
thing.
with me. I love reading. I like sometimes I make jokes for myself and I'm like
I do that too.
You know, so like at the end of the day, I do love myself and I love where I'm at. it's just breaking that toxic cycle of, no, but I need to keep going. I need more. I have to be better. You know?
And it's like, you could be better in your heart. Like, you can be like a better person, you know?
Being better on the outside doesn't make you better inside. Sometimes it's
exactly.
the opposite.
Being better on the inside definitely makes you better on the outside, though.
Totally.
For sure.
So with that in mind, you know, like, I mean, fuck, we just ate 2 pieces of pound cake with a piece of cheesecake in between it. Like, live your best life.
Hell yeah, we are.
We are. Tomorrow, who knows? But today, fucking go for it, man.
Fuck yeah. Drink that ranch. Who gives a fuck?
Oh, drinking ranch. Nom, 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 nom. So thanks for joining us on this journey. Our next journey is going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to get our tinfoil hats out.
Yes. Because, I mean, frankly, kind of similar people are into MLMs and tinfoil hat stuff. It's the type of people who want to think like that they know something, they know the real truth, man.
Now, how's this for hypocritical? I would never join an MLM. I'm 100% a tinfoil hat person.
Yeah, me too.
So, you know, sometimes you pick your battles. So, until next time, thank you for listening. Check out our Patreon. Of course, our YouTube has always got our episodes up. If you are at work and you can't have your phone on,
give that YouTube some love.
Yeah.
It's like the only platform we're not getting much love on.
I know, right? It's the only one. And you know what I do every week? I hide a special image in every video.
It's true.
For you to find. And lately, it's been celebrities ugly eating food. It's amazing. So you know what? Like, just, it's a giggle. It's worth a giggle. The TikTok, I'm still working on it. I was so fucking sick last week. Me and my whole family were super fucking sick. Not COVID sick, but real sick. And so, like, the TikTok's going to take another week. But the Insta's up. Hit us up on the website, utterlyunrelatedpod.com.
The website's pretty dope.
It's so cool. And you can go there and listen to episodes. And you can buy the things. You can click on the button to subscribe to our Patreon. Eventually, when we have everything set up and have hired another person, because we're very busy, we'll have a newsletter that comes out, you know. So
fuck yeah.
We're going places. We're doing things. Unfortunately, we're doing the countdown to the end of season 1. We only have 4 episodes left. And then Megan and I are going to spend the summer doing research. So when we come back, you'll have lots of good things to listen to.
Self-care research.
Whoa, it's going to be so good. All right, everybody, don't stay sexy and don't get murdered. That's not our sign off.
That's not our sign off at all.
That's not our sign off. Hail Satan, not that one either.
We're the office ladies. No, that's not it. That's not it. You know, what is it?